You can never really truly appreciate the peace and quiet aboard the ship until you finally. Whoa, 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 whoa. Wait, Taylor? Is that you? Isn't your model supposed to be Garrus for these videos?
It was, but no more. I have thrown off the shackles of Xenos worship and embraced the light of the Golden Throne.
I mean, isn't this a bit much and just a tad bit overdramatic?
Look at the enemy before us and then ask if what I do is too much.
Playtime is over when Nikki drops in.
Okay then, I think I see your point now. Carry on then, I guess.
Crossovers and collabs are nothing new, especially in the gaming industry. I still remember seeing the first footage of Metal Gear Solid having a whole side thing with Ape Escape. Call of Duty, Doritos, and Mountain Dew have been practically married outside of that one Jeff Keighley Halo meme. So, why are we talking about them? I mean, outside of that hysterical Nicki Minaj crossover. Okay, it has a lot to do with that Nicki Minaj crossover, but there is this new term being thrown around called Fortnitification. When a game has a weird crossover or surprise collab, people start saying it's Fortnitification. So let's do some homework and define how we'll use that term. So what separates Fortnitification from your typical crossover and collaboration event? For this video, I defined Fortnitification as a video or other IP becoming more and more reliant on crossovers and collabs to generate interest and, of course, revenue. Oddly enough, there is an even better example of this than the Nicki Minaj crossover. Did you know Attack on Titan did a collaboration with Call of Duty Vanguard? Yes, that Call of Duty Vanguard. The result? You get a Wish.com We Have One at Home Levi cosplay with a terrifying, in an unintentional way, armored Titan. It's more scary in that stupid clown at the end of the hallway kind of way. Looks like some dude slipped into a rubber suit and snuck onto the battlefield of World War II, and no one wants to even try and stop them. Also, its gun looks like it belongs in Destiny or overpriced in the Valorant item shop. Hey, yeah, I'm talking to you mid-script. I want your honest reaction to those two screenshots, keeping in mind this is a collaboration event for Call of Duty Vanguard.
So I really don't have any words to say about this, but are you sure this isn't Gary's mod? Because the tonal whiplash is just insane.
That, kids, right there is the pinnacle of Fortnitification, a soulless, half-assed crossover that somehow insulted both fandoms in one go. Let's all give a round of applause to Bobby K for this and remind ourselves he's gone this year. Before we go any further, I feel it's only fair that I define the criteria I use when judging a collaboration, and if something is contributing to Fortnitification. To start off with, I apologize for the corporate speak, but synergy. A crossover has good synergy when you can see the fandoms meshing well or both brands have similar themes. I think that's why the Nicki Minaj and Attack on Titan collabs turned heads in a bad way. Sure, Attack on Titan Nicki Minaj fans have a non-zero chance to be COD fans. However, if I want to enjoy the banger that is Barbie World with Ice Spice, I'm just gonna go watch or listen to that on Spotify or YouTube. COD just seems like a weird space to take part in my music tastes. A lot of anime fans do play video games. However, COD is a first-person shooter, so you are hardly ever going to see those skins, and Activision did little to nothing to try and get AOT's art style to mesh well with Vanguard. However, to be honest, Vanguard doesn't have much of an art direction to begin with. The second thing I use to judge a crossover is tangible impact on gameplay, story, or overall player enjoyment. To give some credit to the Nicki Minaj crossover, her skin is voiced, so you can in fact make Nicki Minaj noises at your teammates and enemies. It also has unique finishers and weapon skins. So to avoid the trash bin of Fortnitification, it helps if your collabs do something beyond just being a skin. As previously stated, maybe there's voice lines. To go a bit further, maybe the character you introduce uses its inverse counterpart to guide its gameplay and mechanics. If you are going for gold, the crossover will introduce radically new experiences for players to enjoy and something fans of the other IP will recognize, if not instantly know how to engage with on a gameplay level. Essentially, it isn't a half-assed armored titan rubber suit. Activision. The third and final thing I use to determine if something is contributing to Fortnitification is this. It's the big one. This is the one that can absolutely sink the other two. This is why I even agree with people calling it Fortnitification. Fortnite is notorious for this. The constant fear of FOMO and pushing customers to buy something they normally wouldn't do is gross. Using their fandom for something else to do is absolutely disgusting. On the flip side, making it easy to access or a permanent fixture of what you're doing instantly shoots your score up. That thing is accessibility and availability. How easy is it to get your content, and is there pressure to engage or buy it due to time gates? Limited time skins, season passes, and vaulting the crossover lead to FOMO. FOMO is a nasty psychological practice that should do like Bobby Kotick and leave the industry. Now that we have laid out the pillars, let's take some time to show good examples. To keep this rambling mess a bit more organized, we'll even do an example for each pillar. Thus, we start back at the top with synergy, and in a somewhat not clickbait way, this may surprise you. When it comes to synergy, there were a lot of options to choose from, but those also ended up being great examples for other pillars I used to waste my time and judge silly crossovers for an arbitrary definition the internet invented. However, there is a standout in this, an example that demonstrated a surprising amount of synergy for both mechanics and brand. Just two issues though. It's a tabletop card game, and it's something Wizard of the Coast makes. Yeah, I get it. WotC bad, OGL scandal, 30th anniversary. Hear me out though. While Wizards of the Coast has absolutely fallen into the trap of Fortnitification, they have made two collaborations that absolutely played heavily into the synergy of the collaborating IPs. Those are the Warhammer 40k and Doctor Who Commander Precon decks. As a fan of Warhammer, the Precons were easy for me as a fan to pick up and understand what my strategy was. Forces of the Imperium, overwhelming force. The Necrons, I actually want my stuff to die. Chaos, shenanigans. Tyranids, creepy bug boys want to get big and make more big creepy bug boys. The translation to Magic the Gathering was amazing. You feel like you are playing the factions you are familiar with. Doctor Who is a very similar story. Each card in the set is incredibly flavorful. They even have cards named after episodes with mechanics based on said episodes. Even better, it took advantage of a mechanic called Plane Chase, where essentially the game jumps from one world to another, like the whole game is in a TARDIS. Now, both of these collabs get dinged for availability and price, but when it comes to synergy, these are solid wins in my book. Now let's talk about the example for tangible impact to gameplay. And for that example, we need to sail the high seas, specifically a sea of thieves. This collaboration introduced an amazing single-player or co-op story involving none other than Captain Jack Sparrow. This was a great change of pace from the usual PvP/PvE state that players were so used to. Now, for our final pillar, availability. The golden child of availability in my mind isn't Smash Brothers. It isn't even Paladins and SpongeBob, which actually happened, and I think it is kinda cool how they did it. No. It's Final Fantasy XIV Online and Nier Automata. Yes, this had amazing synergy between fandoms and gameplay. Yes, this had a tangible impact on gameplay with gear and the mechanics of the raids. That's right. 3 24-man raids. What is amazing is if you had Shadowbringers, you had access to this raid. No extra money, looking at you Destiny 2 and any collab you do that's just $20 skins. Guess what else? You can still experience it. It's not a limited time event. You aren't racing to do it before it's yanked out in the next patch. It's an intrinsic part of the game, and that is amazing. Also, 2 beast heights makes your character's butt look good if you play a female. Hey, don't look at me like that. Anyways, is Fortnitification something to be worried about? Honestly, yeah. It's an excuse to jack up prices and use licensing as an excuse. With the likes of Destiny 2 and Warzone firing off skins for no reason other than, oh hey, fans of that thing, it has a skin, give us money. However, it is nice to look through the muck of this practice and find some shining gems. Don't get me wrong, these games I've mentioned in these examples more than likely have the very issue I've mentioned. Final Fantasy's Yokai event being one I can say right now, even though the Nier collab was amazing. You can Google Magic the Gathering Secret Lair crossovers and see every sin mentioned here in one go. However, I think it's a nice change of pace to point out the good, that there are good collabs that should be used as examples. Also, just having skins isn't inherently bad. I love my Assassin's Creed Destiny skin. It costs too much, but it was a nice way to bring my fandom into another game. I love seeing what Smash Brothers can do when they bring a character over and adapt them. Anyways, I'm out of things to say. Roll that outro.
Hey everybody, it's Eno here, and I think you should hit that subscribe button.